arm bar. And the first thing I want to make sure is I don't want to get this straightened out. So gable grip is probably the best way for me to start. He's going to pull up quickly and he's going for his move. This might not be enough. If I can, when he steps over, I'm going to lock my hands in this position. So I went from here to here. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right, at this point, I've got really strong defense. He has to get my hands to unlock for that to happen to get the arm bar. So I'm going to be here. This is a strong defense. This is a good defense. This one's better. Now, as he goes to pull hard back, I use his momentum and I pull up onto him. Now, this looks pretty good, right? But he's not in pain. He will still arm bar me if I give him some space. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I'm locked. I want to push this foot out. And I want to drive the knees to his face. And then I want to start rocking my shoulders until I get some space. If it doesn't work, I compress him farther and make him really uncomfortable. And sooner or later, I'm going to get this arm out. I do not want to see this because he's got me. Does that make sense?
Sir.
I stay on him in my locked position and I rock my shoulders until my elbow escapes the crack of his butt. Okay? If he arm bars me from here, he doesn't have me. All right? Does that make sense? All right, questions? Those are the fine points. Lock them in your brain housing group, okay? All right. Who wants to demonstrate rolling? It's the opposite direction. He's got to get his head in the right place, his feet in the right place. See how he moves his feet out? And he rolls downhill, he rolls away. Let's see it again, let's do it by the numbers. Joel goes for his arm bar, Tance gets a grip, right? Now, he doesn't want to get that advanced defense because he's going to literally let go of that hand at the appropriate moment. Get on this side if you want to see. When Joel Fountain goes to go back, he's going to move his feet from this kind of a T position. He's going to try to look most like an I. All right, he lets go and he gets his thumb pointing down. Joel knows that if the thumb is up, he's got the arm bar. Right? So if he tries to do arm bar now, Tance's arm will bend. Right? That's not going to hurt. Tance has one obstacle left. He's got to get his head under Joel's butt and on the other side. So he kicks his feet over, then he stacks them up. Moves to side control position. Seems like a lot of steps. There's a cute little way that you will remember this. Well, most of y'all never had. Does anybody have a non-digital watch like with the hands? We used to have a Mickey Mouse watch. It was literally Mickey and he's, right? So do the technique again. Tance is going to be Mickey Mouse in this case. Not my analogy, but watch. He's going to go from 9 to 12. That's how you do it. From 9 to 12. As quick as you can. If you're on the other side, it's 3 to 12. That hand has to go from here to here, and the thumb cannot be in the up position. The thumb has to be turned so the elbow will bend, and that's how you alleviate the pressure. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Who wants to see it one more time, really? All right, super slow motion. So again, right here, what time is it? Mickey says it's going to be 9 o'clock. He's going to go 12 o'clock. Watch. 9 to 12. The spin turns upside down. And there's a bridging action in there, by the way. The more you bridge, the easier it is to get your head and your shoulders out from underneath him, which Tance did well. Any questions on that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Who's never seen this before? All right. I've got to quickly maneuver myself so that I can put pressure on his body so he can't arch. Let's watch what happens when he gets me in the armbar and he arches his body. He goes to the armbar. Now watch. Once he gets his body up, he lifts the hips, and that's the armbar. I got to get to where he's not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to quickly turn towards and put my foot over his head. Then I'm going to pull out this way.
Sticking right there.
Does that make sense?
That's some
Again,
witchcraft right
I see a
there.
lot of guys getting their arms twisted into weird ways, and it's, to me, it's, you're vulnerable. So he goes up. I make good grip. He goes to kick over. I quickly move up and pull this way. Now watch. Because of where I am, I can now do this, and he can't arch his body to get my armbar. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I move over, back to the top. So this is the kick over version. Does somebody want to try that?
I kind of want to try it, but
Try with your partner. By the way, it's way different in training than for real. If Chance is trying to pull my arm out of socket or break my elbow, I will not use this one. It's not my favorite. I use the ones I'm good at. Give it a try. Caitlin's going to move to push the arm to the mat and pin it with her weight using her head and part of her shoulders. She extends the other arm underneath, pulls it down. This works best the more she pulls it to the downward position. Now, without any defense, Caleb, she's going to apply this until you tap. All right. Caleb knows what the limitations of his shoulder happens to be. So, start back over. When she goes to make this move, he doesn't want his elbow closed. He pulls it over his head, interlocks his hands in some way. There's not a preferred method that I am going to recommend. Then he pulls his hands to his chest, and then he's going to seek to bridge. So depending on if she keeps her hands locked on his, right? Go ahead, Caitlin, and make your submission. If she keeps her lock, when he pulls his hands to his chest, he can bridge now. He's already trapped her arm. Does that make sense? And from this position, I've never once seen somebody effectively do Americana from the bottom. It's just not an easy technique to do from there. It's too much, you don't have control. You're not controlling the body, okay? Flip over, show again. All right, Caitlin.
yes.
Do your best to make armbar or Americana and tap him out. Caleb, take your time. Be patient. If you tip shot, no big deal, but do it precisely and control your body so that you're able to get everything done. Go. Did a little bridging action. He missed his grip. All right, but he's got his hands over his head. All right, now, can you get it?
This is very
Again, and now he can bridge. Go back.
Bro.
Good work.
I
Does
like
everybody
that
understand? Right? He puts his knee on my chest, drop, and he goes to here. You see how he's going to lock this arm? Automatically, I should have done what?
Press his knees to his
I should have compressed his knees to his face. And this is what? Rolling uphill. Right? I might even grab some defense here. I might, here's Jennifer. I might even do this. I might grind him a little bit with the elbow, right? And then I start rocking until I get my elbow outside of his butt to make my escape. Does that make sense? She's in the guard. Depending on how far he turns me, I may do rolling uphill or rolling downhill. I go here, he goes to make armbar, right? If I'm here, what should I do? Knees to the face, make this escape. What if he gets me and I start to fall?
roll down.
Downhill.
Roll downhill. That's pretty fast. Does that make sense? Okay? Side control. He goes to work Americana. It's a little bit more difficult because it's easy to lock and he's really strong on this position. I roll up on my side. Everybody see this move? Doing this is going to be, hold my arms strong. This is going to be hard for me. But I roll up on my side. I grab the blade and make strong gable grip. Now from this position, I can't easily bridge him, right? So at this point, if I can, I'm going to scooch and move to the guard. Does that make sense? So why would that work? I'll show you that when he's here and he's got me, I can alleviate some pressure by turning to my side. Now, pull that all the way down. It's down. He goes to lift his elbow. He's got it, but I can resist it. I get to here. Did I whack you in the eye? I'll whack you in the again. All right. I get to here. Now watch. When I lift this to my chest, I create some space. Slide under. And move to the guard. Can we do that? Yes. All right. Make your own adaptations is what I'm showing you. It's the same defense. You're going to roll uphill or roll downhill for armbar in most cases. You're going to pull this in and do this for the most part for Americana. Right? All right. So, Joel, get inside control. And he's a smart guy. He knows that when he goes for Americana, right? He goes for Americana. If I try to do this, he's going to just change it and make it into a straight arm lock this way. Yes. Right? And once he gets there, what is the defense?
No, I mean bend your arm.
I got to bend my arm again. So he's going to hold me really tight. And he's going to be pushing and applying pressure. Let me put some pressure on it. And I'm kind of like, if he drives his weight forward, it gets worse. If he pushes forward so that he can control my arm better, again, I'm going to now get on my side, and I'm going to move to here, get under his chin, move to the other side, and see, guard. So even from side control, if I go here, he tries to make straight arm lock, I'm going to bend it for him, which he probably wants, and go back to this defense. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Joe. I go to make armbar. Right? Let's see what happens if I anticipate his defense. I do this. He grabs. I switch. Now I have straight armbar. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at it again. I go to make Americana. Before I set you down, he grabs. I just let it go. Hug. And here's my armbar. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Now remember, in many ways, this one could be kind of like the straight armbar I just showed you. He's going to want to what? Bend his arm and do rolling downhill, right? If he goes to make that, I want to keep this arm and I want to make it straight. Okay? So I might even grab here, right? I entangle and I push. You see how he made his arm straight to make my escape? A little bit down. I'm anticipating that he's going to want to gate or roll or do the Mickey goes from 9 to 12, right? So I'm here. He goes to do that escape. I lift him up. He goes to do a second escape. I lock, grab some collar, and then I just push. Oops. Yeah. Good?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Sir.
So again, if he wants to escape this, what does he got to do? He's got to bend the elbow either all the way down, which gives me what? Kimura lock or umaplata, however you want to look at it. In order for him to escape this, he just rolls.
That's what Kevin always said.
Guess what?
Again.
So Joel decides he's going to roll back and try to do his escape. I grab, I make the lock, right? This time he kicks his foot over my face. That now I'm trapped. I can't get the leverage I want. He goes to pull out. Now he takes the top. All right. Sit or kneel.